I don't know where Bart's got that information. That's why I wanted to get the book, and I haven't been able to track down a copy of it yet.
Johnson & Johnson, the man.
I believe it's, from what I understand, it's a self-published book. You probably got to go to his website and order a copy.
Well, that would explain why I couldn't find it
on Amazon.
Well, no, I was actually looking in like the library and places like that for free copies, just to be able to get an electronic copy to read fast. But so a lot of problems. Bart's is basically saying that what Johnson & Johnson has told us is an outright lie. If this whole hospital poison connection is true. The other thing that Bart says is that there is collusion between the FDA and Johnson & Johnson. That is specifically related to evidence that was given by the FDA about how long it would take for the potassium cyanide to corrode and break through the walls of the capsule.
Yeah, it's probably pretty caustic.
Yeah. He has said that their timeline of it, he's hinted at that they may have fudged it so that it said that it acted faster than it really could have. In other words, he's saying that Johnson & Johnson said, oh yeah, no, you'd be able to tell the pills would be rotting away in a matter of days. I'm making this part up, a presumption. I'm just using this as an example, where in actual fact, it would be a matter of weeks before the corrosion would be enough to destroy the pills.
Sure, I think the timeline that you've just used is probably off, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that timeline is off, but I'm just using that. That's what he's saying, because he's saying Johnson & Johnson put that out so that they could say that it wasn't in the pill before it left their hands. It's important to note that the FBI initially didn't think that the bottles that had the poison pills had been opened before they reached those consumers. So the FBI was curious. There was a DA who looked into this but got shut down.
They didn't. They had some reason to believe the bottles had not been opened before they were bought?
That is according to him, yes. According to Bart's.
How could they possibly know that? Because by the time they would examine the bottles have been opened.
I know.
Except for the ones that they pulled from the shelves.
Oh, the ones that were poisoned. Okay, but even then, I mean, how do they tell? How could you possibly tell?
Yeah, if it's a plastic snap lid and that's it, it's really hard to tell.
I don't understand that. And the only way they were able to find out that those bottles had poison pills in them was to open them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, but I guess the presumption is, right, is that you in the lab, you get all these bottles and you go, okay, bottle 1, open, okay, it was sealed, test all the pills, nothing in there, okay, cool. Bottle 2, open, okay, it was sealed, oh, there's poison in these, right?
Yeah.
But I have literally never encountered a pill bottle that didn't have the 5 different millions of seals.
Yeah,
so I have no idea what that would have been.
I remember the old ones where it was with the cotton that's in there to keep the pills from rattling around so they don't destroy themselves.
Yeah.
That used to be it was kind of a tube of cotton that was bent in the middle. So let's just say it was, 4 inches long. So it folded in half, was a 2-inch strip. Because you could tell that a machine pushed it into the bottle to fold it and then pulled back out. So it could be as simple as, well, this is weird. That cotton is just jammed into the bottle and doesn't look like it should be.
That's fair.
So I don't know. I mean, this is speculation on my part as much as yours, but that's the only thing that I can guess. The thing that I think that we should also bring up so that folks understand some of why maybe there's issues with what Bart's is saying is how Tylenol was produced. Because there was the manufacturing plant, like we said before, it's Pennsylvania and Puerto Rico, and they made the raw stuff. What was in the middle, or what was in the capsule?
Yeah, the powder.
They then sent that in a drum to another plant, where that plant put it in the capsule, put them in the bottle, and then shipped them.
What a tedious job it would be filling those capsules.
That's why we have robots now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. One guy with a little spoon, itsy spoon,
a little foul.
3 scoops at a time.
Yeah.
But so it's possible that at that second step where the mix was put into the capsule, it could have been poisoning inserted at that point. What Bart's saying.
Yeah, he sounds kind of like a disgruntled ex-employee.
Yeah. He's a whistleblower, and he seems to have taken on a crusade against the pharmaceutical industry in general.
Yeah, and also I just don't see how that it could have been tainted at this particular point at that production facility or that packaging facility, and then wind up only in a very small area of Chicago.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not going to disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But I think that's the problem with a lot of these conspiracy theories is that it is cause and effect focused to be focused without looking at all the surrounding factors.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, is all of our potential suspects. I don't know which one to go to.
None of them are great.
I mean, unfortunately, that silly FBI profile is the most likely, but... he would have continued it for a lot longer, probably. You would think. Unless, as you said, that person was locked up for some reason.
That's
whether it be a psychiatric or just a prison scenario.
Yeah, I'm still liking the idea that it was actually somebody who knew one of the original people who died and wanted to kill them. And I would say, FBI, go find out which victim had chronic pain issues. And find out who wanted to kill that person, and there you go.
It's always Joe's theory.
Yeah.
Well, if you, our listeners, have any theories of your own, feel free to share those with us. If you go to our website, which is thinkingsidewayspodcast.com, you can leave a comment on the website. Of course, we will have links to some of our research as well as this and every other episode that we've had for you to listen to there. Most folks don't listen to it on our website. A lot of folks go to iTunes. If you're at iTunes, do please take the time to leave a comment and a rating. That helps other folks find us. If you're not using iTunes, you're probably streaming us through one of the bazillion services, whether it be Stitcher or anybody else that's out there. If you're using one of those, fantastic. Follow the feed. You can always go ahead and get in contact with us directly if you want by sending us an email. That email address is thinkingsidewayspodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on social media, which means that you can find us on Twitter, which is Thinkin', drop the G, Sideways on Twitter. Or, of course, we're also on Facebook, so we've got the group and the page, which are super crazy busy lately. We, of course, also have, as Devin likes to say, merch. We've got some shirts and some other stuff like that available for the show. If you like that, you can always go to our website, and right there on the right-hand sidebar, you'll see a link to Zazzle, which links directly to our store. If you like the shirt, you want a shirt, buy a shirt.
Yeah.
It's fun. I still actually need to buy a shirt.
I need to, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
There's a donate button there, too, just as a fun little...
Oh, yeah, that's right. We do have that on there.
I know, I keep forgetting.
Actually, I'm just thinking if I bought a Thinking Sideways shirt, then I could wash that shirt. It's been a while.
You need to wash that shirt, brother.
Please?
Yeah.
Yeah, please do. All right, gang. Well, that is all of the pertinent facts and details that I can think that we have to give to everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. Ta-ta, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Do you have a Tylenol? I got a headache. Hey guys, Steve here. You are listening to one of our original 26 episodes. If you've listened to any of our new episodes, you're going to notice that we're sounding a little different in these ones.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
There is.
They've been remastered.
They have been remastered.
Because they had a really annoying hum.
Yeah, I mean, a huge thanks to listener James for doing almost all of the legwork on this thing.
Yeah.
You'll also notice if you had listened to what we're calling the Lost 26 episodes before, and you're re-listening now, the music and sound effects are gone.
Yes, we've gone back to straight audio. So be warned, we sound a little different today than we do in what you're about to listen to.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thinking Sideways.
I don't understand.
Does not compute.
You never know.
Insufficient data to formulate a reply. What?
Stories of things we simply don't know the answer to.
Oh, hey there. Hi, didn't see you there, but welcome to the show.
We're
Glad
so magic. We can see through podcasts.
we can, and thanks for joining us here at Thinking Sideways. I am Steve, as you probably well know, and as of course on my right is Devin,
Hi.
and on her right would be Joe.
Again,
Hello.
I'll point out also your left.
Yeah, I was gonna go there, but you beat me to
Actually,
the punch
kind of straight in
once
front
again.
of you, really. But
Well, yeah.
If this is a circle, I mean,
Yeah, this is kind of an awkward shaped circle. But anyway, this is Thinking Sideways, the podcast. And this week we're going to bring to you another story that's got some odd circumstances that I found pretty interesting. And this is one that is dubbed the Valentich disappearance.
yes.
So for anybody that hasn't heard this story before, fasten your seatbelts, put your trays in the upright position, and hang on.
is this a plain story?
This is totally a plain story.
But it's
Nice
not just about
segue.
planes. It's about UFOs. It's about dinosaurs. It's about sea monsters.
Is it about
It's
like,
got everything.
the
All right,
alignment of
wait,
stones?
we're off track. Come on, come on.
Sorry,
you
I'm
two,
giving
cut it
away.
out.
I'm giving away plot
Yeah,
details. Sorry.
you have got to stop drinking 8 glasses of Kool-Aid before we start. All right, so let's go ahead and start as we always do. Let's give you the story here. So the year is 1978, and it is October 21st. And the key figure in our story is a 20-year-old man by the name of Frederick Valentich, and he was piloting a Cessna 182L, which is just a small single-engine aircraft. And he is in Australia, and he was going to fly across the Bass Strait. Weather was calm, the winds, everything's fine. It's a three-stop journey. So he makes the first stop, everything's uneventful, and then he leaves from the Moorabbin Airport, which is in Melbourne, at 6:19 in the evening. After takeoff, he follows his flight plan and he goes to Cape Otway. And at 7 o'clock, he leaves Cape Otway. So he has a very short jaunt, lands, takes off again for the second leg.
Then the second leg is, of course, over water.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he's going across the Bass Strait. Now, if anybody hasn't done this, and I had to do this is on this. Look it up on the map. It's on the southern tip of Australia, and Frederick said that he was going to go to King Island, which is a very short flight away. It's about a 30-minute flight round figure from the mainland to the island.
Yeah, and the island is, it's southeast Australia, and the island is halfway between Tasmania and the mainland.
Yes,
That
is.
I had no idea what it was until I started reading up on it, and I had to go get a map.
I did the same thing.
look it all
I
up.
pulled up Google and I was like, please tell me where this is at, because I'm not getting it.
Not me.
Yeah.
I knew offhand.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
well, yes, you are the geography nut.
That's me.
All right, so Frederick was a new pilot. He was relatively inexperienced. He only had about 150 hours of logged flight time. He only had a student's license.
You said he was 20?
20 years
Okay,
old.
sure.
So he's a young guy, and he hasn't done a whole lot of flying. Now, there's some strange things right off the bat, which is the reason for him taking this trip. He when he logged his flight plan, he said that he was going to be picking up some passengers on the island, and then on King Island, and then he was going to be returning them back to the mainland. He told his girlfriend that he was going there to pick up crawfish.
Well, crawfish are passengers.
So they are, that's true.
I mean, let's be fair.
Yes.
Besides which, you're supposed to lie to your girlfriend, right?
Yeah. No, you're not supposed to.
Oh.
But here's the problem.
he never made it to King Island.
What?
He didn't make it 127 miles, and he didn't make it. He never arrived at the island and was never seen again, which is where things get a little kooky and a little weird and a little strange because of the fact that he was in contact with the tower in Melbourne. Via radio, he had about a 6-minute conversation with them prior to disappearing. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna listen to, through the joy of the internet, a reenactment of that conversation.
Oh, okay.
Not the entire 6 minutes, but it's an abbreviated version. But it would give you a good idea of what the conversation was.
So it's not the original recording.
No. There are transcripts of the original recording available, but the Australian government holds the actual recording, and they've only released pieces of it for investigation, for research, people to look into it and try and figure out some of the things that were going on in it, but they won't just put out the entire actual conversation.
How odd.
Well, why not?
I don't know. It's a government, and they do things like that all the time, and we just can't explain why.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have a show on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we will someday.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Before we go ahead and listen to the conversation, two things to keep in mind is after his plane disappeared, he was supposed to land. He didn't land, and of course a search was set out for him to find him. That search lasted for 7 days. They never found the plane, they never found wreckage, and they never found his body. So he literally disappeared from the face of the earth.
Okay.
Let's go ahead now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's listen to the actual recording, or this, I should say, the actual reenactment of the recording of that conversation.
This is Delta Sierra Juliet. Is there any known traffic below 5,000 feet? No known traffic. Seems to be a large aircraft below 5,000 feet. What type of aircraft is it? I cannot confirm. It's four bright, seems to be like landing lights. The aircraft has just passed over me at least 1,000 feet above. Is there any Air Force aircraft in the vicinity? No known aircraft in the vicinity. Seems to be playing some sort of game. He's flying over me. Delta Sierra Juliet, it's not an aircraft, it's... Can you describe the aircraft? As it's flying past, it's a long shape. Cannot identify it. It has such speed. It's before me right now, Melbourne. How large would the object be? Seems like it's stationary. What it's doing right now is orbiting. The thing is just orbiting on top of me. It's also got a green light and a sort of metallic, like, it's shiny on the outside. It's just vanished. That strange aircraft's hovering on top of me again. It's hovering and it's not an aircraft.
And that is the last that anybody heard from him.
He said
it was passing over him about 1,000 feet above, going very fast, and then it was orbiting him. And he described it as being long and metallic, having four bright lights, and I don't know if it says it in this, but I did read this in some of the transcripts. It also indicated that it had one bright green light on it.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Yeah.
And what were his last words?
The last thing that he said is it's hovering, and it's not an aircraft.
Huh. So UFO? I mean,
well, that's
by
where
definition it is a UFO.
That's exactly right, and that's where everybody goes. Now, here's the thing that's not in this reenactment is at the end of the recording or the official transcript, there's an additional 17 seconds of sound. It's been referred to as metal scraping noises, and then it just the radio completely cuts off and the signal is gone.
Could it be here?
It's possible.
No.
They've done a lot of investigation into it, and there's been no conclusive evidence of what it actually is. They can't say, oh, well, that's metal bending and upon impact, because if you think about it, impact is quite quick. 17 seconds is kind of a long time.
Yeah, that seems like a really long time.
But no, you hit it right on the head, Devin. First thing, it's UFO.
Well, okay,
that's the first thing everybody jumps to with this story.
What I mean by that is that by definition, they said there's no aircraft in that area, right? Mm-hmm. So by definition, it is an unidentified flying object. I don't know that I'm willing to say like
space alien UFO.
Space aliens, but it definitely, to go a little off topic, they've released a bunch of stuff from the Area 51 Roswell information, and they are saying, well, yeah, that's where we were testing all of our stealth stuff. So like all these, UFO reports, yeah, they were legit because we were testing these stealth bombers, and they look like nothing